Hey, MadLab Nation, how you guys doing? Greg Mack, Rainmaker podcast. Hope you guys had a great weekend and are looking forward to a highly productive week of getting a little closer to your goals and objectives in your roles as coaches and owners. And I just wanted to briefly talk about the fickleness of the modern consumer. So that's our word of the day, fickle. And consumers are fickle, and there's not much you're going to do about that. The modern commoditization of almost everything, all products and service thought of and delivered as if they're commodities, where there's really no relationship or commitment to a relationship necessarily in the processes of how consumers, prospects, suspects engage with the marketplace. I just if you remember from last year when I couldn't make the summit and I had a gallbladder attack, right? Terrible pain. Hope that on nobody. Had some secondary inflammatory issues. Not to go into too much detail about that, but was referred to a gastroenterologist to follow up on some of that stuff post-surgery. And just recently had to get a follow-up MRI to see whether or not some of these inflammatory situations were still ongoing. And fortunately, there is no more inflammatory process. And I got a message on my portal through the gastroenterology group that I worked with. And they just sent me a little email or text saying, hey, got the MRI results back. No inflammation. You're good to go. Good luck to you. So I have no relationship with the gastroenterologist. She did her job in this case, and we're done. And often customers, consumers, prospects, they think about many services this way. And without a reason to maintain a relationship with this gastroenterologist, why would I? I wouldn't. The task is done. And so I'm just encouraging each of you to keep this in mind when suspects call you or email you or text you or walk in, or prospects after a face-to-face meeting or in the first contact actually express some interest in your product and service. And again, interest, right, is for us that combination of a physical concern or need that's in your wheelhouse along with an emotional driver where the value is established. That's what's going to kind of narrow and maybe attenuate their fickleness as they think about making a decision to work with you and work with them, because they may not be thinking about a relationship with you as a coach or a gym as any lifelong relationship. This is going to take some time to nurture this. And even if they do say, hey, I really academically and intellectually understand this notion of having a professional coach help me with my physical capabilities and fitness across the lifespan, because they're fickle, they may wax and wane over the years in their commitment to that relationship. So I don't want you to be surprised or beat yourself up about this when you see this happening. You're doing your best to try to invite them into this relationship, build a logical and rational and emotional argument for why the relationship needs to be lifelong, and keep presenting this to them, understanding that they're fickle and they're going to come and go and wax and wane, and they're not going to get the results they want fast enough based on some random expectation they have about how fast change should come in their body and how long that change should last. And so, the selling process, if you will, and the buying process doesn't ever really stop. If you've taken Rainmaker 201, you've seen the construct we've built for handling suspects and seeing if they're prospects through the first contact process and all the structure and recommendations for strategies and tactics and what to say and not to say there. And then what you do in a face-to-face meeting and what you shouldn't do in a face-to-face meeting in order to get to a clear decision, yes or no, in the next step. And then after that step, inviting them into a lifelong relationship and building a a rationale for that for them that attends both, again, to their logical and rational minds, but more importantly, the emotional side. And that's a lot where the fickleness comes in, right? That emotional side, because it's logical and rational that they should be exercising regularly for the rest of their life. For someone not to think so, they're woefully uninformed about the power of that. And so it's usually the emotional and psychological aspect that creates the fickleness. And so I'll stop using the word fickle for now that I think, driven my point home, hopefully, to you, that, hey, don't beat yourself up because of the fickleness of the modern consumer. Do what you should do: invite, ask, re-invite, figure out what's going on, what's changing, what's not changing about their circumstances, so you can pull alongside them as their lifelong coach, as their lifelong advocate in the process of pursuing and maintaining an exercise lifestyle and healthy lifestyle for as long as they're alive. It's worth it. You're worth it. Keep going. Our communities need you.